Hello, everyone. Welcome to Top Talk, the channel where you don't just learn English. You learn ideas, confidence, and clarity through real-life speeches. Today, we are learning English from one of the most powerful and meaningful speeches ever delivered. A speech by Bill Gates at Harvard University. This speech is special because it is honest, it is emotional, and it is full of lessons about success, failure, responsibility, and humanity. So relax, listen carefully, and let your English improve naturally. Bill Gates begins his speech with humor and humility. He says that he waited more than 30 years to finally say this sentence to his father. "Dad, I always told you I'd come back and get my degree." This simple line teaches us something important in English. When we say, "I've been waiting for 30 years," we are using the present perfect continuous tense to show a long action that started in the past and continues until now. Bill Gates dropped out of Harvard, but many years later, Harvard invited him back, not as a student, but as one of the most successful people in the world. This teaches us a powerful life lesson. Your beginning does not decide your ending. He jokes that Harvard now calls him the most successful dropout. Then he adds another funny line. He says that makes him the valedictorian of people who failed. This humor hides a deep truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is often part of success. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Top Talk, the channel where you don't just learn English. You learn ideas, confidence, and clarity through real-life speeches. Today, we are learning English from one of the most powerful and meaningful speeches ever delivered. A speech by Bill Gates at Harvard University. This speech is special because it is honest, it is emotional, and it is full. In English, remember this word, dropout, someone who leaves college before finishing. But dropping out does not mean giving up on learning. He says academic life was fascinating. He used to attend many classes he had never officially signed up for. He learned because he was curious, not because he was forced. This is a very important lesson for English learners. You don't learn English by pressure. You learn English by interest, exposure, and curiosity. He also talks about dorm life. He stayed up late at night, discussing ideas with friends. Because he didn't care about waking up early, people gathered in his room. That's how he became the leader of what he jokingly called the anti-social group. This teaches us vocabulary like phenomenal, extremely good, exhilarating, very exciting, intimidating, making you feel nervous or small. Then Bill Gates shares one of the most important moments of his life. In January 1975, he made a phone call from his dorm room to a small company in Albuquerque. That company was making the world's first personal computers. Bill Gates offered to sell them software. He was afraid they would hang up the phone when they realized he was just a student. But they didn't. They told him to come and meet them in a month. There was only one problem. The software did not exist yet. So Bill Gates worked day and night. That phone call ended his college education and began his journey with Microsoft. This teaches us an important English phrase. Back-end index pointing right, opportunities don't wait until you are ready. Bill Gates then reflects on Harvard itself. He says being surrounded by intelligence and energy was exciting, intimidating, and challenging. Even though he left early, Harvard transformed him. But then the tone of the speech changes. He says, "I do have one big regret." His regret was this. He left Harvard without understanding the terrible inequities in the world. The word inequity means unfair differences in life. Health, money, education, millions of people were dying from diseases that were already cured in rich countries. Bill Gates explains that real progress is not just about discovery. The greatest achievements of humanity are not new inventions, but how those inventions are used to reduce suffering and inequality. Democracy, education, healthcare, these are tools to reduce inequity. But for many years, he did not see this reality. It took him decades to understand. Then he asks a powerful question. If you had a little time and a little money, where would you use it? To save the most lives? For Bill and Melinda Gates, this question became a mission. They learned that millions of children were dying every year from preventable diseases like measles and malaria. Some children died from diseases that cost less than $1 to prevent. This shocked them. They assumed the world would act, but it didn't. Why? Because saving poor children did not make money for the market, and governments did not act fast enough. Bill Gates says something unforgettable. If you believe every life has equal value, this truth is revolting. Children were dying, not because solutions didn't exist, but because they had no power and no voice. This leads to his idea of creative capitalism, a system where businesses can earn profit, governments can earn support, and poor people can still be helped. This is how caring becomes sustainable action. He then addresses a common belief. Some people say, the world is unfair because people don't care. Bill Gates strongly disagrees. He says the real problem is complexity, not caring. People see suffering, but they don't know what to do. When problems feel too complex, people look away. To turn caring into action, we must see the problem clearly, find a solution, and measure the impact. He explains that real change follows steps. Define a clear goal. Find the strongest approach. Use the best of AIDS prevention to show how progress happens step by step. Never give up. Never surrender to complexity. Bill Gates then talks about technology. Computers, the internet, biotechnology. These tools give us power humanity never had before. They allow people across the world to work together and solve massive problems. But he also reminds us, for every one person with access to technology, 5 people still don't have it. That is why education and access matter. He ends with a message to Harvard and to everyone listening. From those who receive much, much is expected. If you have education, opportunity, and awareness, then you have responsibility. Take on a problem. Become informed. Use your time and energy wisely. Don't let complexity stop you. And finally, he asks graduates to judge their lives, not only by career success, but by how they helped people they would never meet. This was Top Talk, where English is more than words. It's a bridge to ideas, empathy, and action. If you want to speak better English, listen more, think deeper, and stay curious. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep watching Top Talk. Thank you.